Hello guys, welcome back to another tutorial, the continuation of the hotel booking application that we are trying to create. So at this point we've gotten to the part where we are now going to create the room, which can only be done by the administrator. So inside the front end for the admin, the last part we created the pages for the create room. Okay, so let's come in here and then try and create the room. Okay, so first off, what I'd want to make sure is done is I'll bring in use effect to check if the user is logged in. So we need use effect, we need use selector, and we can get that from Redux like that, and then we can then pull the user from the state. So we pass in the state and then state dot auth. So let's try and check if we have the user. Yeah, there is a user. So we then say, let's make this bigger. We then say use effect, and our dependency that we use is the user, and then we will say if not user, I want us to navigate to login. So we would need to bring in navigate from, we need to bring in use navigate from React router done, and then we will say that in here we say first navigate is equals to use navigate. So we do navigate to login like that. Cool. So when we log out, we go back to the login page. Let's log in again. Okay, cool. This takes us to the dashboard, but what we want to do is create the room. Alright, so inside the room model, if you check the server side of the code, when you check the room model, which will be controller models, room model, what we need is we need a name, right? We need a name, we need a price, we need a description, and then as well we need to get some images, and then we have to do some JavaScript manipulations to get the room numbers. Alright, so back in here, what I want to bring is to bring in save.form wrapper, then dot input group, it's a label for name, we say name of the room, we need the name, cool, we need the name. This should be in a form actually, so let's cut this one out and put it in a form. We don't need any action for now, so we need the input for the name, so we say input should be a text, and then the name will be name, and then placeholder will be enter an unchange, and we say handle change like that. So let's define the handle change. Say handle change as an E, then like that. Let's see what we get. Do we get any errors? No errors. Cool. But I'd want to put this in a container. Like that. Cool. Alright, so I need to have the name, and then I need the price. So let's copy this. The value, actually we have to put a value in here, which will be name. But then we would also have to define the state for the input field. So we will say we need to bring in use state. Yeah. And then we say host form data set form data, and then use state. Have the name, we need the price, we need the description, and then we need room numbers, which will be an empty array like that. So let's destructure it. Name, price, description, room numbers, goes to form data like that. That should clear up some of the error. Cool. So back in the form aspect, let's copy this, and then we'll say paste this one here, and then this one will be price. So change the price, and then the name for this will be price, and then the value will be price, and then on change will stay the same. I save. And we need another one for the description, but for that I'll need to use text area, and then name will be description. This one is description, and here we say description. Sorry, we say description. And then we don't need all of this. We don't need all of this. And we still need the unchange. We'll handle the change like that. Like that. The ID, we don't need the ID. Save. And then we also need the value for that. So I can say value will be disk. Cool. So let's check to see what we've done so far. Okay, cool. And then from there, what we need is we kind of like need the same thing for the room numbers, like that. So let's copy this and then paste it here, and then we say room numbers, and then in here we do room numbers. And then the unchanged stays the same, but this will also be the room numbers like that. Cool. And then from there, so we have the name, price, description, room numbers, and then as well we also would need to upload images. So I kind of like need one of this. I need one input group like that. Yeah. And then let's come down here. And then, yeah, here. And then paste it here. But this time the file, it will be, let's say, images. So the file type will be file. And then the name will be files. Let's say file. Then we don't need a value for this. It also throws an error. And then we don't need placeholder. And then for this, I'll have to define a new function to handle when there's a change in handle file change. Because the handling of this is kind of like different from how we would handle like input variables. So we can copy this and then define another function here. What is it? We define another function on top here. Then we say handle file change. Then let's define that function. Bring it in. And then pass RE. Alright. So let's define the state for the file too as well. So we'll need to bring in we need to say files set files because to use state, and that'll be empty for now. Alright, we don't have any errors for now. So back in the handle change, we can then say set form. Let's make this bigger. I say set form data. We need the previous state, and then we will return what was already in the previous state, and then we need the e.target dot name, which will be either file, either price, name, or room numbers. And then we need the value as well, so e.target value, like that. So let's see if this works. Works. And then that works. Okay. So down here we need a button too as well to us to submit the form. So we then say button type of submit, and let's say submit, like that. Cool. So so that'll be basically how the form for the room will look like. Okay, so we need to do some manipulation first, especially with the room numbers and then the images. So with the images, when you click on choose, we can pick some files. let's say what we can get. Let's say desktop. Okay, so we can select some of these images like that. But what we have to do with the input type of files, we also need to set multiple to be true. Say, yeah, so that we can select more than one image. So I click on that. Let's select like that. And then we have 5 images here. Cool. So let's also work on the file change. So up here we say on file change, why did you put that? Yeah, on file change we need to set files with e.target.files. So yeah, so when we console.log files here, let's take some images, open it. Yeah, so we have a list of files with these images in it. All right, so what we need is also the onSubmit. So let's come here with the form and say onSubmit, or to handle submit like this. And then in here we say handle submit, and then we need to prevent the default behavior when the form is submitted. So from there, let's have something like data to submit. Let's make it an empty object now. But technically what we'll need is the name. We need the name. We need the name. We need the price. We need the description, and then room numbers like that, and room numbers like that, and then we need the image too as well. But we have to do some formatting first, especially with the room numbers. So when we check the model for the room, realize that we need to creatively make the fields in the model, which is a room model. Creatively need to come up with an array with something like a number and then unavailable date. So what we can write in the room numbers will say, inside the room numbers here, we can then say where is it? Yeah, we can then say with a placeholder, we can say say enter room numbers separated by commas. So example 201, 202, 203, 203, 204, like 400, like that. You got me? So in here you can then something like that. But for now, let us, for us not to go back and forth with having to type, let us give it some default values. Let's come up here. Where is it? Okay, let's come up. Okay, set the files. So let's give it some default values like what is it? It should be a string actually. Let's say 401, 402, 203, some default values in it. Right. So we then come here and then say let's say console.log room numbers. So when it's submitted, let's just console.log the room numbers like that. It should be a string with that, but then I'd want to format this by saying const room array equals to room numbers. I want to split it by the comma, and then after that I want to map over each item, and then I want to return, we need a type of item. We want to change it to it's a number actually. I want to change it into an integer, and then from that we can say unavailable date will be an empty array. Let's console.log to see what we get. Do we get any errors? Oh, console. Okay, so let's submit that. Yes. Then we have the type then unavailable date. Is it date or date? There's a room model. Unavailable dates. Here like that. It's a number and then unavailable date. For now, we'll give it an empty array. Just put it here. Save. So that's number unavailable date. Cool. So that's one aspect of it done. And then also with the images, what I've done is that I already have a code snippet for uploading images to Cloudinary, which is where did I put it? I put it here. Okay, so for this tutorial not to be that long, I will make a separate video on how to upload images to Cloudinary using React. So that'll be a separate video, but basically what we're trying to do is we've created an upload image here function which takes the file, and then we create a new form data. We then append the file to the file to the form data, and we also need to append the upload preset, which is something that you need to get from the Cloudinary website. That's how the API works. So you then from there would need to have a cloud name. I have that, but I have put it in an environment variable, and then you hit the endpoint with a post request with the form data. So basically that's how it looks like. Okay, so let's bring in and when you upload the image, that will return a URL, which is here. So eventually, after the upload is done, you will then return the URL for the image that was uploaded to Cloud9. Okay, so I then bring in, did we export it like this? Okay, so let's bring in the upload image. So we say report upload image like that. Save it. Right, so basically you bring in the upload image, and then okay, so from there we then say where were we here, handle submit. Okay, so we've done the formatting of the room, and then we will have to upload image to Cloud9. But that's an async process, so sort of like a promise. So we need to bring in async. Then let's have a list to be let's see await, since it's promise. Let's promise it's promise dot all, and then which would run an async function with the promise all, and then we need the object dot values of the files. Why is the await? See await promise dot all object dot values of the files, and then I'd want to map over each file. Yeah, it's an async. So it's so objects dot values of the files dot map onto run an async function, which will take the file. Like that. Are we getting await expression can only allowed within async? Yeah, but we have a sync here. Okay. So say URL will be await upload image, and then bring in the file like that. well, let's try and see something here. We say like that. Will you go away? Whatever. So let's return like that. Do we have errors? Why are we? It's on a sync function here. Oh, you're writing it in the wrong. You're writing it in the wrong. In the wrong function, isn't it? Sorry. No wonder. It's on a sync function here, and then we will say list will be an empty array, and then list will be await promise dot all. It should be promise dot all. We need the object dot the values of the files, and from that we will map each file right. We map on each file, and then we say URL is await upload image file, and then we want to return the URL like that. Slowly. So let's check to see if this will work. Okay, moment of truth. Let's pick these files, open them, and then let's submit. Cool. Okay, so we have the URLs coming in like that. Cool. So you're almost done with the creating of the room. So we can say const data to submit will be one the name, one the price, and then description. The room numbers will be the room array, like that, and then that's this. This is this. Okay, and then from that the image will be our list like that. But then what we can then do is to just let us just do some quick validation for now and say if not name or not price or not room numbers, let's return like that. So nothing happens like that, but what we want to do is to say dispatch create room function from here. So let's console.log data to submit like that. So let's come in here and then give it some fake values. Let's say the name, the price, the description, then the room number is already there. So for the files, let's pick some random files. Let's just take 2 of them to make things quicker. And then let's submit. Cool. So everything seems to be working perfectly. Cool. For the price, yeah. So back inside what we now is we're going to deal with an asynchronous function. So we have to create a slice for the room. So inside the features, let's create another folder and say room, and then in here,
okay,
and in here I'll say, and that should be in features, right? Inside the room, I'll say room slice, yes, and then we need to bring in create slice from at Redux toolkit, and then as well we need to bring in create async thunk like that. So from there we need to say the initial state will be, what we need is essentially what we'll need is let's say rooms will be an empty array, and then we say it's loading to be false, it's success to be false, initial state is success to be false, is error to be false, and then we need the message to be empty. So then can export const room slice will be create slice, the name will be room, and then we need the initial state, then the reducers will be, let's see, we just need a reset for now, and then now take an anonymous function, and then with the reset I'll say state dot is loading to be false, state dot is error will be false, state dot success. I just basically setting everything back to its initial state. Okay, so state dot is loading is false, and then also state dot message will be an empty message like that. So basically, and then for our asynchronous methods, then we'll say extra reducers, which will take in a builder, and for that we will add our cases here. So basically that'll be the structure for the slice. And then we also need to export the actions as well. So we need to export the reset action, which will be room slice dot actions, and then we also need to export default room slice dot reducer, like that. So back inside the app, inside the store, we need to bring in the room reducer. So we will say import room reducer from NED features room slice, like that. Do we have any errors? Initial state is not defined. What you mean by that? Initial const. Oh. Initial state. Right. So inside our store, so with the room reducer, we bring in the room reducer, and everything is perfect. Is it? So when we check the Redux part of Chrome, somewhere here, yeah, we see that we have our room state here. Cool, nice. So what we need now to do is to create the create room function to hit the endpoint to create the room for us, basically. So let's go back to the room slice. So from here we can then say, let's say create room. So we say export const create room will be create async func, that will be room create, should be an async function, say room data, and then we need func API. And let's do our try catches and say try catch. All we need is to just console.log error message, and then we return func API, let's reject with value error message. So for this one, for the try catch, we need to say response equals to await. Let's use the fetch API. So /API /rooms, like that. And then with the headers, we say content type will be application JSON, and then the method will be post, and then the body will be JSON that stringify room data, like that basically. So we then will say if not res, that's okay. Let's say will be await res.json, then return tongue API.reject with the value with the error, like that. Other than that, say data will be await, and then return data, like that. So basically the endpoint we are trying to hit is the we then need to create the async func, which will be rooms, which will be room /create. So we await, and then pass the form data, and then the tongue API to handle some of the errors that might come up. So we await, make a fetch request to /API/rooms. Let's try and be certain about this, because I'm not too sure how I did it. So let's find why did we open this as well? Okay, let's go back to the models in it. Let's go back to our route, room route. Okay, so we have to be authenticated to create the room. So okay, cool. We don't need a store now. So now we've created the create room function. So let's bring it into our create room component. So let's bring in the create room from the room slice, and then we will need to also bring in use dispatch as well. But then before we export this, we need to also write the cases for when there's success. So we then will say builder.add case create room pending, which will take a state, and then we say that is loading will be true, and then we add another case, and that will be create room.fulfilled. We need the state, and then we need the action, and then we say state that is loading will be false, state that success will be true, and then state that room will be action payload, like that. Then for the rejected, let's add another case. Create room dot rejected state, then action. And then we say that state dot is loading, again will be false, and state that is error will be true, state that message will be action payload, like that. Cool. So we've set everything up with the room slice. So let's create the room by dispatching. We brought in use this dispatch in it. Okay. So in here we can say once dispatch will be use dispatch, like that. Okay. And then from there we can then dispatch where is it? We can then dispatch the data to submit. Can dispatch data to submit. But then again, we need to check if it has been successfully done or not. So we then would need to also bring in, let's make some separation here. We then need to bring in a success use selector state that string from the room state. Go. So from there, then we say if it's successful, we try and define another use effect, and then bring in the dependencies that we will use. We say it's success. So we can say if it's success, I want to navigate dashboard, like that. Save. Go. And then from there, I'll also want to bring in the reset tool as well. And then I'll dispatch the reset tool as well. Like that. Cool. So let's see what we will get. Moment of truth. See what I want. Console. So let's say the name is test prices, that description. Let's give it some description. We already have the room numbers, the files. Let's choose 3 files, and then moment of truth, submit. Whoops. Action may not have an undefined type property. Have you misspelled undefined type? So let's check the Redux side to see what happens. What really happened in Redux? False, false, false. Okay. Oh, state that success. So usually, to avoid things like having to do the back and forth typing, I just usually will type in some default values like that. Let's say 200. Then let's have that. And then for now, the images are not important, so let's submit. And then we have same error. What are we getting wrong? Slice. Oh, we forgot to dispatch it with the data to submit. I'm sure. Dispatch create room. Sorry. Create room with data to submit. Like that. Ding 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 ding. Ding. Let's try that. Yay, done. Done. Let's check our rooms. Yeah, but with the backend, what I'd want to do is after creating the room, I want to get all the rooms that are available and send it back. So let's go back to the server file. Where is it? Go back to the server. Where's the server folder? Yeah, and then the controllers, room controller, and then in here I'll say what is it? With the create rooms, what is it? This is delete room. With the create room update. Yeah, with the creation of the room, yeah, after creating a room, instead of bringing in just one room, I'll just want to bring in all the rooms. So sequence discuss away room that find, so then bring all the rooms in it, something like that. So let's create another one, but then this time around let's test to see if we can still use the image. We can use the images, so like that. Okay, all right, create that. So if we should check the rooms, that gives us an array with all the rooms that we have created. Cool. So let us then now display the rooms. So let's go back to the backend and then let's sanitize our data a bit. So where's the rooms? Where's the rooms? Update. Let's open Compass. Yeah. So let's connect to the database and then open this up. And come to, what's the name of our database? Let's come in here, controllers, server. What did we do? That'll be in the server folder, innit? Config DB. Says Mongo URI. That'll be the .env file. YT booking. Okay. Ask me later. So cool. That's it. Cool. So I need to check the rooms. Rooms, and I want to just delete rooms. Yeah, delete everything. Yes, please. Delete. Yes, please. Let's refresh. And then refresh. Cool. Everything is gone. Now let's go back and then create rooms. Let's create the rooms with these files. Open. Submit. Cool. So let's create another one. Let's say test2. Let's give this price of 300, and then say description of second room. Say keep the same root numbers. Let's choose some images for the rooms. Come back. Choose these ones. Open. Let's submit. Let's create another one. Say first 3. Let's give it some other price. 500. Have some description. Keep the room numbers. Images. Let's come in here. Let's just choose these ones for now. Let's open. Submit. Cool. we have that done. All right. So now what I'd want to do is get the rooms with the URL. So let's go back to the header. So in the header component, where is it? Component. Component header. I'd want to be able to access it regardless of whether I'm logged in or not. So I want to put it here like that. Yeah. So let's come and then create the rooms page. So new folder, let's say rooms, and then let's create rooms. That'll be rooms.gsx like that. So RAFCE. RAFCE, bring in that, and then we have an H1, and then say rooms. Let's go into the app folder, then let's bring in the rooms from the rooms page folder, and then when there's something like that with /rooms, I want to render the rooms component like that. Let's say cool. So bring this back up again. So let's, where's the header? Oh, it doesn't need to be here, rather it should be up somewhere here. Cool. Cool. So when we go to the rooms, we have the rooms here. So let's bring it to the center. All right, cool. So immediately we hit this page, I'd want to dispatch a get rooms. I'd want to dispatch a get rooms function. So let's go back to the rooms slice. Yeah. And then I would say let's bring it down somewhere here, and then I'll say get all rooms const export const get rooms will be create async thunk, and then with the name of, let's say, rooms get all, then should be an async function and then a tongue API. And let's do our try catch. Then console dot log the error message, and then return tongue API dot reject with value error dot message, and then in here I'll say const rest await fetch API runs it's a get request. So if not, that's okay. I want to error await JSON. And then other than that, that's the JSON and return our data. Oh, then in here I'll say tongue API, no, return tongue API dot reject value the error like that. So let then create our cases. So down here we add case. We say get rooms dot pendant, which will take the state, and then the state that is loading will be false. State is error will be state that is loading will be true. Sorry. Then let's add another case. So get rooms dot fulfilled state, and then the action, and then I'll say state that is loading equals to false, state that is success to be true, state that rooms equals to action load, like that. So in a situation when it's rejected, it still takes the state and has the action, and then we say state that is loading will be false, state that is error will be true, then state that message will be the action that pay, like that. So basically that's how we are going to handle the state. So let's bring in the get rooms. Where is it? Yeah, let's bring in the get rooms inside the rooms like that, and then let's import get rooms like that, and then I'd also want to get the use effect from React. So say use effect, just run once, and then we say we need to bring in the use dispatch. Oh, come on. Say report use this patch from Redux, and then do I need use selector? Yeah, let's bring in use selector. So I'll say this patch will be use this patch, and then I'll say const rooms will be use selector, which will take the state dot rooms, state dot room, like that. So in here, I guess dispatch get rooms, like that. Let's refresh to see what happens. Cool. Inspect. Console. Let's go to Redux. We have our rooms in here. Cool. So inside the console, let's check to see if we have our rooms. But first, what I'd want to also bring in is loading as well. So then I'll say if it's loading, I want to return div with h1, and then I'll say loading. That's something to just make it more aesthetically pleasing. Yeah, cool. So let's check to see if we have our rooms. So let's say console.log rooms, like that. All right, cool. We have our rooms. So let's render the room list. So we'll say that if rooms dot length is greater than 0, I want to render the room list, which we don't have. Other than that, it's greater than 0. Wait. I want that. Other than that, should be now. We are going to get an error for that, but data will be rooms, like that. So let's create a new component with the name room list. So new folder, say room list, and then create a GX file, say room list.jsx refce. So let's bring in the room list to the rooms component. So let's bring in room list, like that. That should clear up our error. Let's refresh. Cool. And we have room list in here. And then back inside the room list, we have the data in here. Then we say data.map item. What I'd rather do is to create a room item for each, but I really can't be bothered now. Let's say create a div and give it a class, right? Let's return a div, and then let's say it should be item index, but we need to have a unique key for each item. So we say a key of item dot underscore id, and then let's just bring in the here and just do item name like that. So that will give us test1, test2, test3. Cool. But I'd want to have the link to get a single room. So we need to bring in from React router DOM like that. So instead of this, I'll bring in the link. Just create a link to say rooms with an ID. We have the create room. / rooms with the item dot underscore id. But there's a problem with the routing, because when you check the route for the pages, which is app.js, it might clash with this, because technically if you do it as an ID, it's also gonna look something like this. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So we can just say rooms, and let's say all, and with an ID like that. Cool. So that should take us to an endpoint where we do not have that yet. So that takes us to this endpoint, rooms all with this ID. Cool. So let's create the route for that. So that'll be a single room. So let's come in here, and then let's create a new folder and say room, and then let's create a room.jsx like that. AFCE, then h1.ident, and then say single room. Let's bring it to the center. Okay, so inside the app.js file, we can then say that let's first bring in the room component like that, and then define the route for that here. So the route for that was with the all, and then an ID, and then we say want to use the room like that. Yeah, so that brings us here. So let's go back to the rooms, and that renders that, and we get that. Okay, so inside the room file like that, what I'd want to also do is basically I say import use effect color. I'm getting tired. Use effect from Redux from React actually. Alright, so from there we say use effect, and that happens. Just run this once. What I'd want to do is, instead of having to create we don't need the room in all of our as a global state. We can just do it being here. So we can say get room, and let's define the function. Will be on the same function, and then for that it will be, let's create a try patch and console.log the error, and then in here I can say res await. I want to do the fetch with /API/rooms/ with the ID, but we've not defined the ID yet. The ID is coming in from here, so we need to grab the ID. So we can then say const ID will be equals to use params like that, and that will be, we get that from React router like that. Okay, so if not res that, so let's say if res that okay, I want the data will be await JSON. Let's also log the data to see what we are getting. Cool, we're getting that. That fetches the data for us. Also, let's also define the state for the rooms. So in here, I need to bring in use state. Then I can say room set room and use state. And now that will be null like that. So instead of console.login, I want to set the room with the data like that. Pretty simple. Okay, so that gets us the room. We set the room, and then we can then come in here and say if there is a room, I'd want to just bring in, do something other than that. Just don't do anything for now. So then we'll bring in a div, and then let's see a p tag. I'm getting tired. P tag, and then we do room dot name like that. How do we have? Yeah, we have it here. And for now, I'll just have an image tag, and then with the source folder, want to have the room.img image, and let's just take the first one like that, and that gets us that. Cool. Let's just give the class name of. I'll make another video and then we do the styling and let it look aesthetically pleasing. So we can say class name will be, let's give it an ID. So ID will be room. So inside let's just give it some basic styling. In here, let's create room.styles.scss, then say room img, let's do a width of 100%, something like that, basic. So inside the GSX, let's bring in the let's import /room style.scss. I should import that, yeah, and then let's just let's make this room GSX. For now, let's make this an H2. For now, let's just make it as matter of fact, let's take this, cut this one here, paste this one here, and then let's say name like that. So yeah, so that's text, and then in here I just want to do the description. Okay, and then let's give it like that. Okay, but for now let's just put $sign there, and then let's say .to fix two decimal places. Cool. So basically it is just a test. Yeah. So let's have something like an image wrapper. I want to show something. So let's say that, and then bring this in here. So in here I can say that img wrapper, let's say display, to see if we are hitting it. Okay, cool. I'll say width is 100%, height, let's say 60, 70 VH. Okay, so let's give it a height of 100%, and say object fit cover. Okay. Yeah, 70% is too much, 70 VH, so let's give it like 50. Cool. Or 40, yeah. Whatever. So let's bring this let's put it in a container. I would say container, then put it here. Say, let's do bring you in a bit. Yep, but 50 is just too small. Let's make it half. 60. Oh, 60. Yeah, much better. And then you say margin bottom online. At this point, I would want to end the video here, but I just want to make some aesthetically pleasing stuff. So with the heading, I want to text transform finalize. What do we have here? And then for the p tag font size 1.2 rare, like that. Cool. And then just margin bottom of on rem. Yeah. But then I would want to put all of that in something like a text wrapper or something. Let's bring this one down a bit. Take this one from here, put it here, and then put all of them in something like a text wrapper or something. Command X, text. Let's put them here. So inside the text wrapper, in here, say text align center, something like that. Okay, so basically we can create the rooms as ugly as something. Let's come in here to the rooms. Let's do a quick styling for the rooms so that at least it won't be as ugly. So let's create a new style sheet. So you say rooms.styles.scss. Let's say rooms. And then let's have let's say that content upper like that, and then put you guys here. I still have that. Okay, but that will be in the room list in it. And then let's say ID is rooms. Let's say room list like that. Okay. And then let's create the SES as well for that. So room list of styles SCSS room list, and then let's go inside the room list and then import these styles. Like that. And then for now, okay. Then in here, somewhere around here, we are returning this. So yeah. So in here we say the ID is room list. Okay. So we can do display grid template columns repeat. Let's give it 3 on F1. So that gives us that. But then let us just sort of like bring in an image or some. So let's just say, no, we don't need this in here. But for now, let's do img with 100%. Like that. So in here, I'd like to bring in an image tag. And then the source will be the item.img, the first one. Cool. Like that. Okay, cool. So for this, I'll just put it to the img wrapper and put you here. So inside the, I think I'm already doing the styles for that. We might as well go ahead. So inside the rooms, I'd want to put that in a container. So pages, rooms, home, rooms, like that. I want to just pull all of this. Let's say that's a container, and put you guys in here. So that, yeah. So so inside the, I don't need styling for that. And then in here, inside the room list, the img wrapper, I'd want to, let's say height will be 300 pixel, and then the height, let's do 100%, and then object fits like that. But then we'd also want to have a gap of 20 pixel like that. Cool. Let's do some simple media query. So at media max width of, let's say, 800 pixel. What I want is the room list I'd want it to I'd want to say grid plate columns repeat twice 1 fr. Cool. Something like that. So we move from this to this, and then I also want this to be, let's say, something like 200 pixel instead of 300. I want to do 200 pixel. And then when we get to smaller screens, I'd want it to be display block. Like that. And then the IMG wrapper, let's put it around 500, 540 pixel. Cool. So I want it to be this big. How big? Yeah. Yep. And then we need to make, so inside the room list, I'd want to give this a class name of room unit. So in here I can say the room unit margin button 100, like that. Can I say display now? Display block margin. Let's give it 0. Okay. So let's try and then make this thing look a bit nicer. So that, we have that. Click on this, we go here. Click here, we have this. Cool. So I'd want to bring the text to the middle a bit. So inside here, I'll say that room unit text line center, like that. Then the image wrapper, I want the margin bottom of forward. Cool. And then the p tag on the font size of 1.0, like that. Text transform capitalize. So basically this is what we have. Coolly. That takes us to the home page. Yeah. Alright, so I'll end the video here. The next time we would try and then do the edit and then the update part of the whole thing. And then as well, I create a carousel so that we can have the images. We have 4 images in here, so we can have a carousel display. All right, so if you've been able to watch to this point, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and then subscribe, and as well keep pushing.